If you've ever wished your cat was more affectionate, this might surprise you. Cats bond through very specific behaviors most people never notice. Once you understand them, everything changes. Cats are mysterious creatures. One small action can make them trust you deeply, while some pushes them away without you realizing it. Most owners never learn the difference. Do these 6 things every day and watch your cat become obsessed with you. Number 1. Use your soft voice when you talk to your cat. Have you ever noticed what happens to your voice the second you speak to your cat? Suddenly, it becomes higher, softer, almost silly, the kind of tone you'd probably never use in front of other people. A lot of people feel awkward about it, but here's the funny thing. Research suggests that voice is exactly what your cat responds to the most. In 2022, researchers at the University of Paris discovered that cats can clearly recognize the difference between their owner's voice and a stranger's voice, but only under one condition. The owner had to be using that soft, affectionate, high-pitched baby talk. When the same owners spoke in their normal, everyday voice, the cats barely reacted. But the moment the tone changed to something sweeter and more exaggerated, their behavior changed instantly. The cats lifted their heads, turned toward the sound, and in many cases, even walked closer. So your cat isn't just hearing random sounds when you speak, they're actually identifying you. And that recognition becomes strongest when you speak in a warm, affectionate way, the same way you'd speak to someone you deeply care about. So try this every day. When you walk past your cat, when you put down their food, when you notice them quietly watching you from across the room, talk to them, say anything. The words themselves don't matter. What matters is the tone, calm, gentle, and warm. That voice communicates something powerful to your cat, that they're safe with you. And sometimes that simple feeling of safety is the strongest bond you can create. Number 2. The 5-second eye contact that builds trust. Have you ever looked at your cat and noticed them slowly closing their eyes while staring at you? Many people assume it just means the cat is feeling sleepy, but that's not what it means at all. That slow blink is actually one of the most deliberate signals cats use to communicate, and in many cases, it's directed specifically at you. Researchers at the University of Sussex explored this behavior in 2020. Their experiments showed that when people slowly blinked at their cats, the cats were much more likely to blink back and even walk toward the person afterwards. Cats also responded when strangers did it, but the reaction was strongest when the slow blink came from their own owner. In other words, that tiny moment, just a couple of seconds, can actually influence how comfortable and trusting your cat feels toward the person in front of them. Pretty incredible when you think about it. No treats, no toys, no belly rubs, just 3 seconds. 3 seconds of eye contact followed by one slow, calm blink. To your cat, that simple moment says something powerful. I'm not a threat. I care about you. Here's why this tiny habit can completely change your relationship with your cat. Most of us stare at our cats without thinking about it, but in cat language, a hard stare with no blinking is not friendly at all. It's a challenge, it's confrontational. So without realizing it, every time you lock eyes with your cat and hold that stare, you might be sending the opposite message of what you actually feel. Number 3. Let your cat greet you first. When you walk into a room and see your cat, what's the first thing you do? Most people instantly reach down and start petting them. It feels natural. But in cat language, that skips an important step. Cats experience the world through scent before anything else. Their nose is basically their introduction system. Every greeting begins with it. When two friendly cats meet, they don't immediately start grooming or rubbing against each other. First, they touch noses. It's a tiny exchange of scent that works like a handshake. It tells them, I recognize you. You're safe. Now imagine skipping that completely and jumping straight into physical contact. To your cat, that can feel a bit like a stranger suddenly hugging you out of nowhere. It's not painful, but it's definitely unexpected. Over time, that kind of approach can make some cats pull away instead of leaning in. There's a simple fix. Before you pet your cat, extend a single finger toward them and hold it a few inches from their nose. Then wait. Let them come to you. Let them sniff and figure you out. If they gently push their face into your hand or rub their cheek against your finger, that's their way of saying, "All right, I'm ready." It only takes a couple of seconds, but those seconds change everything. Suddenly, you're not just touching your cat, you're respecting their way of communicating. And cats tend to remember the humans who respect their boundaries. Number 4, turn playtime into a real hunt. Have you ever tried to play with your cat, waving a toy in front of them, only for them to stare at it like you're doing something deeply embarrassing? It's easy to assume your cat is just being lazy, but most of the time, the problem isn't the cat, it's the game. Cats are natural hunters. Their brains are wired for a sequence: stalk, chase, pounce, and catch. That entire process is what makes play exciting for them. But when we shake a toy back and forth in the same spot at the same speed, we're skipping everything that makes the hunt feel real. To your cat, it's like watching prey that's behaving in the most unrealistic way possible. No wonder they lose interest. The secret is to make the toy behave like something alive. Instead of moving it toward your cat, pull it away. Let it slip behind furniture or disappear around a corner. Pause for a moment, then make it dart suddenly across the floor. Unpredictable movement is what wakes up their instincts. When your cat drops low to the ground and their pupils suddenly widen, you've triggered that hunting drive they were born with. And here's the part many people don't realize. A cat who gets a proper hunt every day doesn't just stay active, they often become calmer, more affectionate, and more connected to the person playing with them. Because to them, you're not just the person holding the toy. You're the one providing the experience their instincts crave. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference, but it has to feel real. Stop wiggling the toy like it's a chore. Start moving it like prey that actually wants to escape. Your cat will notice the difference immediately. Number 5, the sweet spot. Earlier, we talked about how your voice matters to your cat, but there's actually one small place on their body that can trigger an even stronger response. Once you know where it is, you'll probably never pet your cat the same way again. When cats are deeply bonded with each other, they sometimes groom one another, a behavior called allogrooming. But interestingly, they don't groom randomly across the body. They almost always focus on a very specific spot, the back of the head, right around the base of the ears. There's a reason for that. It's one of the few places a cat can't easily reach on their own. That means the only time it gets groomed is when another cat they truly trust does it for them. Because of that, the area between and just behind the ears becomes something special. It's not like the belly, which is sensitive and vulnerable. It's not like the chin, which most cats simply enjoy being scratched. This spot is different. In cat terms, it's almost like a members-only zone, reserved for those they feel closest to. Here's the amazing part most people never realize. You can trigger a similar response yourself. Each day, spend a few seconds gently stroking the area between your cat's ears and down the back of their head with your fingertips. Keep the movement slow and soft. Don't scratch or rub aggressively. Think of it more like a calm, steady rhythm, similar to how another cat would groom them. Then, watch your cat's reaction. Their eyes will start to close, their body will relax, and their purring often deepens into a softer, slower rumble. That reaction isn't just about physical comfort, it's your cat's brain responding in the same way it would when a trusted companion grooms them. In other words, you're speaking one of the most meaningful forms of affection your cat understands. Number 6, protect their nap time. Be honest for a second. Have you ever picked up your cat while they were sleeping just because they looked ridiculously cute? Most of us have. They're curled up in that perfect little ball, looking peaceful and soft, and it's almost impossible to resist scooping them up. But what feels like a loving moment for you can feel very different from your cat's perspective. Cats sleep a lot, usually somewhere between 12 and 16 hours a day. And it's not because they're lazy. Sleep is actually how their bodies recover, process stress, and reset their nervous system. Deep sleep is when your cat is at their most vulnerable. Their muscles loosen and their guard drops entirely. When a cat enters that kind of sleep, it means they've decided the spot they're in is safe enough to completely switch off for a while. Now, imagine what it feels like from their perspective when that moment suddenly gets interrupted. One second, they're deeply asleep. The next second, they're being lifted into the air without warning. Their body instantly reacts. Their heart rate jumps, their claws might come out, their brain goes from peaceful rest to full alert in a split second. Sure, they might calm down after a few moments and settle in your arms, but the interruption still registers. Somewhere in their mind, a small message gets stored. Maybe that place isn't as safe as I thought. If it happens repeatedly, you'll start noticing a quiet change in their behavior. Your cat will begin choosing new sleeping spots, places that are harder to reach. They're not suddenly becoming distant or antisocial, they're simply trying to protect their sleep. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is simply let them stay exactly where they are, curled up, comfortable, and undisturbed. To a cat, a safe place to sleep peacefully is one of the greatest signs that the world around them is calm. And if they've chosen to sleep in your home, it already means they trust you. So next time you see your cat sleeping, just walk past them quietly. If you liked the video, like and share so this content can reach more cat lovers.